Okay, folks. So as mentioned, my name is Rima Uther, and I'm a community planner at Social Planning Toronto. Really pleased to be here with Israt Ahmed, our senior community planner, who's organized this workshop, with Entithar Youssef, our speaker, who'll be presenting to us about voter registration and accessible voting options today. This is the first of 5 workshops in this election cycle that Social Planning Toronto is offering. Our intention is to offer these workshops, a series on the 2022 municipal election for community development workers who are supporting civic engagement efforts. These workshops will inform participants about voting process and priority issues affecting low income and underrepresented communities. Residents are welcome to join as well. And you can find out more about the workshops through our website, and we'll post the link in the chat box. And through these educational workshops, Social Planning Toronto is aiming to enhance democratic engagement in neighborhoods with traditionally lower voter turnout and in marginalized communities. So we have speakers from Election Services, City of Toronto, including Entithar Youssef today with us, also from the Democratic Engagement Exchange, and community-based advocates and experts. So we encourage you to go to the link that Israt has just shared in the chat and to register for the other workshops as well to secure your spots. As I mentioned, we have cart captioning here for those who need it. And if you're having any trouble accessing that, please just send a message in the chat box. We'll be monitoring that as we go along. So I would love to now invite Entithar Youssef to get us started and to share your presentation. Oh, sorry.
It's the land acknowledgement.
Before that, yes, before bringing Entithar on, I'm going to invite Jarek to do the land acknowledgement for us today.
Hi, everybody. I'm just going to do the land acknowledgement real quickly. So Social Planning Toronto works with diverse communities and neighborhoods across the geography of Toronto, also known as the Takaranto. SPT honors the land that we are on and the current stewards of this land, the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. We acknowledge the historical relationship between the Wendat and the Haudenosaunee Confederacy who have lived in this territory. Toronto is also home to many Indigenous nations from across Turtle Island, including Inuit peoples and the Métis Nation. The 6 boroughs of Toronto are covered by Treaty 13, signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Williams Treaties, signed with multiple Mississauga and Chippewa bands. Many of us, such as myself, have come here as settlers, immigrants, or refugees in this generation or in generations past, while some have come here involuntarily, particularly as a result of the transatlantic slave trade. Living in this territory, we all have treaty rights and responsibilities and a role to play in upholding the original commitments under which treaties were signed. This land is also part of the Dish with One Spoon Treaty, an agreement between the Anishinaabeg and the Haudenosaunee to peacefully share and care for the land, water, and resources. Other Indigenous nations and all settlers, including each of us, are invited into this agreement in the spirit of respect, peace, and friendship. Social Planning Toronto is working towards centering, building, trusting relationships, and supporting actions for each Indigenous communities and Indigenous organizations have been advocating for. This includes adapting our work, processes, and policies to align with and amplify the Truth and Reconciliation Committee's calls to action and to continuously learn from Indigenous wisdom, truths, and ways of knowing. This land acknowledgement will be adapted over time to reflect our continuous learning and commitments.
Thank you, Jarek. And I'd like to now invite Entithar Youssef to get us started with the presentation on accessible voting options in the upcoming election. Welcome, Entithar.
Thank you, Rima. Good afternoon, everyone. And I'm just sharing my slides now. Can everybody see the slides? I haven't put it on the slideshow yet. One second.
So, and these are, I think
You can see the slides, right? But
can see
it's
the
not
slide.
slideshow. Yeah,
It's not slideshow, but I think
Yeah.
if you just, it's the button above the transitions. I think that's the slideshow.
It's just this is covering me up. I'm trying to the next one. Okay. Oh. Sorry.
No, not a problem. Not a problem.
I don't know why it's covering me on the top. Like everything is coming here.
Sometimes if you press escape, you can go into a smaller screen and you might be able to
Yeah, I
access
was
the
trying
top.
that. Sorry.
So
Or if you want,
Intisar,
Jared can share his screen, right, Jared?
yep, I can share my screen for you if that's a bit
Yes,
easier.
please. I think that would be better. Quickly.
Perfect.
Okay, can you stop it because it's covering me on the top. I don't know. I can't see the slideshow. Okay,
For
can you do it?
Of
Okay.
course, of course.
So sorry about that. Good afternoon, everyone.
Don't worry, this happens all
Yeah.
the time.
This presentation will cover 4 key areas, mainly election key dates, who can vote, additional voting options and accommodations, and voter registration with MyVote. I will provide details about the accessibility options we are offering for the voting in the 2022 municipal election, such as mail-in voting, proxy voting, curbside voting, personal assistance to voters, the voter assistant terminal, ballot transfer, and accessing our dedicated accessibility telephone line and email. So, next slide, please. First thing, I would like to go through the key election dates. So voter registration using my vote runs from September 1st to 23rd. Mailing voting registration runs from September 1st to 23rd as well. We have only a few days left. It's ending this Friday. Advance vote will be October 7 and 2/14. And election day is October 24. It's always the fourth Monday in October. So it will be October 24 this year. Next slide, please. Before we get into all of these different options for voting, let's get a review who can vote. So I'll just like to touch upon on the eligibility criteria for voting. First of all, you have to be a Canadian citizen to vote. Next slide. You are at least 18 years of old, and also you are not prohibited from voting under any law, and you qualify to vote. There are 3 ways that you can qualify to vote in the municipal election. The first one is you have to be a resident elector. The second one, you can vote as a non-resident elector. That means you own or you rent a place in this, you own a property that's in city of Toronto, or if you are a non-resident and you are a spouse of a non-resident elector, you can also qualify to vote. So the other basic thing which I'll just provide as an introduction to this presentation is during this election, we will be voting for 3 people. The first one is the mayor, which is elected citywide. The second one is the councillor. That's going to be 25 people for the 25 wards. And we also vote for a school council. And if you are eligible, you will be voting for 1 candidate for school board trustee. So the additional voting options we have this year is mail-in voting, because this is a new additional voting accommodation available this year. The other ones are appointed proxy. You can vote curbside voting, personal assistance to voters. We'll go into the detail in each of these options. So if you could go to the next slide. Mail-in voting. Mail-in voting is available for the first time this year. This is new initiatives. It has been tested during the by-election, and it was really successful. So we are currently accepting applications for mail-in voting until Friday, September 23rd. Like I said already, this is going to be this Friday. So we would like to encourage people who would like to vote by mail to get their applications in as early as possible. If you require a braille ballot, you must ask for that when you apply. So during the application process, it will ask you if you need a braille ballot, and then you can apply for it as well. The second step is the three options are to apply online. You have three options to apply by visiting toronto.ca, vote by mail. You can call 311, or you can call 416-338-1111 and then press 5. Then complete your package. Once approved, you will be sent a mail in voting package to complete your, you will sign the declaration form, you mark the ballot, insert the sealed secrecy envelope into the yellow return envelope, and the third step is you mail your package. So return your completed mail-in voting package with prepaid postage through Canada Post, or between October 7 and October 21 at noon. You can hand deliver to one of the yellow drop boxes. As you can see on the slides, this box there, you will find a box which looks like this, which is available in several city locations, and then you can bring it to the box and you can drop it there, or you can take it to the Canada Post to deliver it. And the video, which is part of this presentation, has step-by-step explanation how you're going to do it, and I think that does a great job. So because we don't have the voice, we could just skip the video for now, and we will be sharing the links. All right, thank you. Appointing a proxy. So if you are unable to vote for any reason on any of the available voting days, you can appoint another eligible elector to vote on your behalf. So a voting proxy must be someone who is eligible to vote in the city of Toronto and who the voter can trust to vote the way they wish. A voter can only choose one person to vote on their behalf. A voting proxy can only vote on behalf of one person unless they are voting on behalf of an immediate family members. Immediate family members are the spouse, siblings, parents, children, grandchildren, and grandparents and grandchildren. A voting proxy can vote on behalf of more than one immediate family member. So there is a process for this when you are appointing somebody to vote on your behalf. So you need to get a form and to make an appointment to get it certified. Contact Toronto Election by calling 416-338-1111, or you can email voterregistration@toronto.ca. And so that you get the form. Once you get the form, you can sign. You have to sign, and the person you are appointing also has to sign, and it has to be certified by the city clerk. The form can be certified in person at Toronto Election Office, Toronto City Hall, 1000 Queen Street West, and on hours from 8:30 to 4:30 p.m. North York Civic Center, the 5100 Young Street, the ground floor is an option for proxy certification by appointment only. So if somebody wants to make an appointment and go to the North York Civic Center, that's also another option. Contact Toronto Elections by calling 416-338-1111, or you can email to voter registration at toronto.ca, and you can get the form. So is there any question up to now before we go to curbside voting? Any question?
I have a question.
Yes, Israt, go ahead.
Okay, so my question, if someone appoints me as their proxy and I vote on their behalf, can I still vote for myself as well?
Yes.
Okay.
One of the requirements, actually, you have to be an eligible voter to be a proxy for another person.
So to confirm, I can vote as well as I can proxy vote for someone else close to me.
Yeah, that's right.
And I see a question from Eshrat as well.
Thank you so much for your, great presentation. I have a question regarding to, my situation, because I got my actually I got my citizenship. I just applied for the passport. I know I'm not going to have that passport. It's going to take 2-3 months. And if I want to vote, do I need to have any, because I don't have my PR card too. I only think I have my I don't have driver license too, because I don't drive. And do I need to have ID for that vote if I want to vote?
Yeah, Ishrat, that's a very good question. Actually, you don't need a photo ID to vote. What you need is something which shows your Toronto address and your full name. So it can be an electricity bill, or it's a telephone bill, a letter from anywhere which indicates your name and your address will be enough for you to go and vote.
Okay, thank you so much. Sounds wonderful.
That's exciting. And also at the same time, you can also register yourself. You can look up for yourself, because since you are now a citizen, you can look up for yourself on my voters list. And then if you are not there, you can add yourself as well.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
And I think I saw David, you had your hand up. Did you also have a question?
No, I think you probably come to it as you go through the slides. I'll wait for that point.
Okay. Wonderful, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So let's move on and go to the curbside voting. So if you are physically unable to go inside the voting place, you can request to have your ballot brought to your vehicle outside of the building or to another area within the voting place. A friend or a support person will need to go inside the voting place to let the election officials know that you require curbside voting. So if let's say for whatever reason you didn't want to go inside the building and you would like to vote inside your car, you can ask somebody, your friend or your family member, to go in and let the election official know about you are requesting for curbside voting. So the election official will bring the ballot to you and will confirm that you are the right person, like whatever identification, which is not necessarily a photo ID, and then they make sure you are the right person. Then they can issue your ballot, you can vote, and they can take back your ballot and put it in the counting machine for your vote to count. Also, personal assistant to voters. If you require assistance at the voting place, you may bring a friend along to help you, or you may ask an election official for assistance. Your friend may go behind the voting screen with you. However, they must make a declaration first that they are not going to interfere with your decisions. All right, so this is about the voter terminal assistant. We will skip that one too, but the voter terminal assistant is a ballot marking device that allows voters with disabilities to mark their ballot privately on their own. The features include a touch screen, an audio function, a braille keypad, a zip puff tube device, a rocker paddle, foot switch, and zoom features to adjust font sizes and color contrast. Voter assist terminals will be available at all advanced vote locations, 2 per ward. If you require the use of a voter assistant terminal on election day and one is not located at your designated voting location, you can request to have your ballot transferred by calling 311. So unfortunately, we cannot play the video now. And I'll go to the next slide, which is translated materials and language services. So in October of an election year, more key election information is available on this in our website in English and additional languages. If you require assistance in a language that's not available, you can call. We can call 311 to request over the phone interpretation, which offers over 118 languages. Voting place staff will be wearing tags that show the different languages they speak, because we have a diverse group of staff working at the election. You can also request a language. You may find somebody who speaks the language you are looking for. You may ask anyone who is not a candidate or a scrutineer to act as an interpreter for you. They must complete an oral declaration that they will faithfully translate any communication between you and the election officials. Interpreters may not go behind the voting screen with you or assist you in voting. And we have also translated how to vote booklets, which are available in all voting places to assist with declarations, require identification, how to mark your ballot, and what to expect.
And Desar, I just see a question from David. David, did you want to come in?
Yeah, thanks. I had a question for the voter assist machine. You know, blind folks have historically had major issues accessing the ability to vote independently at elections, and I think this new machine was meant to sort of address that. As far as you have heard, how well does it work in terms of people who are blind being able to independently vote? I'm just wondering how practically the experience is for somebody who might be blind.
Yeah, it has a braille option.
Okay.
Yeah, it has a braille option. It has you can like, for some people who wants to zoom the sizes of the font, if that's like the accessibility requirement for them. And it has also like the zip puff tube device.
Yes.
Yeah. It has a lot of features. I have seen it in 1 or 2 of our locations, but I think come October we have a lot of trainings going out to the communities to show how it works, and also see experience it how this machine works.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the video gives a good.
Yes, and the video explains it really well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Thank you, David.
Yes.
And we'll be sending the links to the videos to you after as well. So what we're not able to show here. I also see Israt, your hands up. Do you have a question or comment?
I have a question for Intizar. So how to vote booklets are translated, not necessarily the ballot, right?
No,
ballot
yeah,
will be in English.
yeah, ballots is, yeah, you're right. So, yeah, the ballot is in English. The booklet actually has like the basic informations. So like it has like what is the required identification in different languages, how to mark your ballot, like it explains. It's not that very detailed. It has like very basic information, and they will be available at each voting places, and people can look into that and say, oh, okay, this is what I'm expected to do. Like you were supposed to circle or mark the oval, right? So it will just explain those little steps.
Got it.
Mhm.
And David has another question. Please come on, David.
I just lowered my hand. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
So we also have dedicated accessibility line. This is to address barriers to voting for people with disabilities. Toronto election has established a dedicated telephone line and email addresses. Please contact us with accessibility questions, comment, or concerns you may have. So we get calls and on this line for people who have like special considerations and they would like to. So we work with them to address the barriers they have and try to make a possible arrangements for their situation. So this is just to help people case by case, depending on their situation. And the email is accessibleelections@toronto.ca. The phone number is 416-338-111. And when you press 6, you will get to us. One of us, me, Zoe, and Alex, will be the one who is manning this telephone line. So other useful information, there are several ways to arrive at the voting places, the public transit, the community bus, the Wheel-Trans, by calling your local candidates or by calling a friend. Voters experiencing homelessness, eligible voters who do not have a permanent address can vote in the 2022 municipal election. If you stay at a shelter or spend time at the drop-in center, look for information cards and posters with details on the closest voting place to your shelter. You may also find your voting location by using the MyVote web application or by calling 311. The other one is voters on remand. As eligible voter on remand in one of Toronto's detention centers, you can vote in the 2022 municipal election by appointing a proxy or participating in the mail-in voting program through a liaison officer assigned by the correctional facility. To vote by mail, you must speak with the detention center staff to review the mail-in voting details and ensure you submit your request before the established deadline, which is September 23rd. And also we have students, if you are a student living away from home while attending school in Toronto, you are eligible to vote in both your home municipality and Toronto's municipal election. If your home and the school residents are both in Toronto, vote in the ward where your home is located.
Isra, did you have a question?
Question about student voting. So suppose somebody is from a different municipality, like London, Ontario, but they are studying in Toronto. Can they vote in 2 different places?
Yeah.
At the same time, or just Toronto or
Yeah,
wherever
can,
they live in?
They can vote in 2 places. And actually there is a program for in campus for students to vote.
Okay.
To vote in person or apply to vote by mail, you must show identification with your name and qualifying Toronto address. Students living in residence can use a letter from their post-secondary institution as identification. If they don't have like something which indicates that the student there could be used as identification. Any other question before we go to the MyVote? There is a text. Okay. So MyVote is an online tool that has been developed to help voters find information they need to know about voting in the city of Toronto. You can use MyVote to view key information specific to you, the voters, and it's easy to use. It is optimized for use on mobile devices and computers. So you simply enter your Toronto address and you can change, check, or add your information to the voters list before September 23rd. Find out where and when you go to vote. That will going to be starting October 3. View your information card and see the list of candidates running in your riding. In your ward. Find accessibility information about your voting place and more. This video really explains it well, how the MyVote online service works. So finally, the election website is a great resource for the most up-to-date and accurate information. The information is organized into main categories for ease of navigation. For more information, visit toronto.ca/elections or email us at elections@toronto.ca. You can call us at 416-338-1111 or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. That brings us to the end of my presentation. If there is any question, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you so much, Intezar, for that presentation. Really wonderful to hear all of that information and to understand all the diverse ways folks can participate in the upcoming elections.